Hello, Release Fire here again with more from Pokémon Legends Arceus, and this time it's the Volo battle at the temple, how to beat him, and some of the weaknesses to be aware of. However, what you should know is that this is only the first part of the fight. After Volo, you will need to face Giratina, so you'll need to make sure you keep all of your Pokémon in action by the end of this fight. And I'll talk you through how to do that at the end. The other reason you might be struggling with the battle against Volo is that you might not have gone back to the pastures to get all of the powerful Pokemon and legendaries that you spent the last missions picking up. So go back to the pastures and get them in your team. There's no way to know which Pokemon is going to come first in terms of Volo's roster, but Regigigas is a good one to start with no matter what, because he does a lot of damage even if he's not super effective, and he's got a really high HP level, so that it means he can stay in the game a little bit longer. He did enough damage to Spiritomb and also did a good chunk of damage to Lucario, but Lucario has got some devastating hits. Close combat in particular decimated Regigigas and took him out of the equation, but there's still plenty more in the pack to be able to take him out. So Lucario's weak to ground and fire, so Heatran would have been a good option, and Dialga is also good from a ground point of view with Earth Power, and it's a similar story with Palkia, who I went with because I wanted to save Dialga for later on. So then straight in and getting in your hit with Earth Power, and that's enough to finish off Lucario, and that is one of them gone. Now Togekiss is pretty tough, and unfortunately Palkia doesn't have anything that's super effective, so at this stage it was just a case of doing as much damage with what I had. Togekiss then hit me up with its big bad super effective move and finished Palkia off, but then it was back to finding some weaknesses, and in particular Steel with Heatran was a good option, so I swapped him on in and unleashed Iron Head, but I should have made it a strong attack. Instead, I was trying to save moves a little bit later on, but if I'd made it as strong, it probably would have finished him off with the single hit. Instead, I just about took off most of his health, and Volo threw in a full restore, which brought it back to square one. However, with a strong style this time, with Iron Head, it was good enough to take off most of its health, and then I was okay to kind of weather the storm on Togekiss's next hit, and that just left me with the last job of finishing off Togekiss with one last Iron Head, and that was that job done. However, Heatran didn't do so well against Garchomp, who one-shot him out of the equation instantly. But with Dialga, it's pretty good with Roar of Time, with Garchomp being weak to Dragon Move, so I one-shotted him. But Arcanine threw in some Raging Fury, which took off most of Dialga's health, so I needed to keep him in the game because he's such an absolute bulldozer. So I hurled in a Max Potion, which meant he could weather the storm of more of the Fury, and it also meant I had 2 goes in the next round, which gave me an opportunity to start reviving some of the other Pokemon in my team, with an eye on the battle that comes instantly after this without any opportunity to kind of recover. Now Arcanine is weak to ground type moves, so that's a good one, and obviously water type moves if you wanted to go down a different tack. And that just leaves 2 Pokemon to battle in Volo's team, and one of those is Roserade. Unfortunately, Dialga doesn't have anything that's super effective against Roserade. He's weak to Psychic, Fire, and I think Flying type moves, so I just had to use Roar of Time and do as much damage as possible before bringing in Cresselia, who could weather the storm, and then start using some more revives to bring the rest of my team back into action. And with the battle coming to an end, now's the time to make sure that you finish up with 6 active Pokemon for Giratina, because that's a seriously challenging battle to take on if most of your team's already fainted. And the good thing about Cresselia is that she can take a lot of the hits from Roserade without taking too much damage, and she can finish her off whenever you want to, and that will just leave Spiritomb. And like I said, now's the time to keep on cycling through the revive, so don't focus on doing any damage to Spiritomb or whichever one of the Pokemon are the last ones for you to face in the battle with Volo. Spend all of this time focusing on bringing everybody back into action. You can change up to Regigigas because he's got such a high HP level that he can stay in the game for longer. And then once you've got everybody revived, it's a good idea to use potions and max potions and whatever you've got to top up everybody's HP bar as close to full as you can. However, you can save a few of your potions by using berries as an alternative, like these pineapple berries, which are a good option. And then once you've got everybody looking good, you can destroy Spiritomb and move on to Giratina with a full team. And that is how to beat Volo in the battle at the top of the temple in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like I said earlier, if the video helps you out, drop a like, subscribe with the link on the left hand side, and you can see more of my guide videos for Pokemon Legends Arceus with the links on the right hand side.